We're talking about making it real, working with Aboriginal communities to achieve outcomes through partnership. And it's really important, as I said, that it's not just about working with Aboriginal communities, it's about how do we make this real and how do we make things happen so that every Aboriginal student in every New South Wales public school is achieving, that they're soaring, they're flying. They got a strong understanding of who they are, they're coming to school with an appetite to learn, and they're being fed at school. The knowledge that I'm going to talk about today is in your Aboriginal community. It's in the Aboriginal people that are out there and the Aboriginal people that you work with. It won't be pre-digested and it won't come as a PowerPoint presentation, but the knowledge is there. And it's worthwhile you spending the time to get to know your community, to find out that knowledge. It's the ingredients that make things happen. You can't have a partnership without a relationship, and you can't have a relationship without a conversation. It's critically important that we have the conversations and that those conversations build the relationships, the respectful relationships that we need, that then develop the partnerships for things to happen. These conversations, relationships and partnerships, they need to be social. We need to get together, as I said, to know each other and learn more about each other. But they also need to focus on learning about the core business of schools and about our kids and about what we can do together. Because if we come together and all we do is talk, but nothing happens and we don't see the outcomes, we don't see the difference in our kids' lives and in what's happening at school, we've wasted another opportunity. So it all sounds so easy, you know. You just get together, you have a conversation, you build the relationship, and then suddenly you've got a partnership. Why is it so hard? Communities are diverse and complex. Relationships between schools and communities are influenced by the settings that they're in. The people, the place, the power, but most importantly, the lived experiences of people in schools and people in community. We need to develop new relationships if an enduring or a real educational partnership is going to happen. And so how I talk about that is that I say that you've got the community and you've got the school. So here's the community business and here's the school business. Community knows their business and the school knows their business. And what it is, it's about finding the overlap. It's not about the community coming in and running the school or the school going in and running the community. It's about finding the overlap, the shared knowledge, you know, where we can come together and work together. What do we bring to this place and this space and what we can do to work together. The next important thing is that school community partnerships are deliberate and planned. They are not something that just happens. And they need to be part of everyone's core business and everyone's responsibility. It's also the people in the front office. It's about every teacher. It's about every executive, everyone that's in a leadership position. School community partnerships, how they happen, what we want out of them, they need to be discussed. They need to be planned. They need to be resourced. They need to be monitored, and they need to be evaluated. So what I'm talking about is a community engagement strategy that's interwoven across everything that you do, and that it's like a scope and sequence, that it outlines you know, what's going to happen and the reasons why it's going to happen, and that it's got an end point. What I'm suggesting that you do as a staff and as a community is that you look at, as I said, 2 strategies that are working in the school, 2 things that you're doing really well and do more of it. And then you look at 2 new strategies. You talk around, you yarn, you know, and think of 2 more things that you could do. And then the last thing is to think of 1 low-cost, off-the-wall strategy. A lot of schools say, yep, we've got really good community engagement strategies and we've got really good community buy-in. But when you go to the school, you don't see a lot of parents. And that's so, you know, you need a community engagement strategy, but then you need a specific strategies about how you're going to get parents involved. We need to communicate to parents and to community members very clearly about the reasons why the school is looking for them to be engaged in what's happening at the school. And I believe that the best way to engage parents is through the students. It's communication, not just about providing information to parents. That's the lower level things. What we're talking about is communication to build trust and to build respect. I believe that Aboriginal community people have high expectations of schools and they want to see the difference. We need to come together and we need to do this as individual to individual. So that's one-on-one. So that's a teacher with a parent or a caregiver, a teacher with a community member, an AEO with a parent and community member. But we also need to do it collectively. We need to do it, as I said before, as the school and the community. How do we come together and how do we make this happen? So as I said, it's about the conversations, the relationships and the partnerships. It's about where the overlap is between school and community business, the common ground that we need to work on. It's about planning for success and focusing on the end point, and it's about your communication.